Hey guys, it's Nikki by Crocheting by Nikki. I also do the Facebook page and my Instagram are Nicolette's Crocheting. I will add that in at the end, by the way, so you guys can have that. Also, it'll be at the bottom of my video as well. All right, now what you're gonna need today in your little fun stuff is a crocheting hook. And this hook, I don't know if it'll, no, this one hates the focus, but it is the F5 or 3.75 mm crocheting hook. You're gonna need a couple things of safety eyes. And I have a ton of safety eyes, guys, so I kind of just grab whatever safety eyes I can get out of my whole little container of them. I got a little kit of them. It was like 250 pieces, and it ranged a bunch of different colors. I have brown eyes, blue eyes, green eyes, the regular black safety eyes like these ones, and I have a ton of backs. I even got like a couple like little slots of noses in them too. And I want to say it was like 10 bucks for that off Amazon, which was I thought was pretty cool. Because where I lived, I was going down to the Joann's fabric store and they only had these black ones. And I really wanted to make a doll for my niece, and they didn't have different color eyes, and I wanted to give them a colored eye, so I never got around to my niece's little doll or anything like that until I got those, and so I thought that was kind of cool. You're also gonna need scissors. You can get these at any kind of little craft store, or I got mine in a kit from when I went to cosmetology school, and it's kind of like cutting the nails or cutting the eyebrow hairs when you're waxing someone's face. But you can get these probably at Joann's or Michael's or any kind of craft store or off Amazon for like a couple bucks. You also are going to want a stitch marker. I tend to use the yarn. A lot of times I do use these though, depending on my project, depending how I'm feeling. We also are going to need a crocheting needle. This is one of the ones I just use. It's kind of just in my little kit I kind of have in my purse. It's just a little plastic needle. I did get a kit off of Amazon. It has like 6 or 7 different types of angles depending on your project. The one I am using today is just the plastic one, but the other ones, they're actually solid needles. Like when you do poke it, it's not as pointy as an actual real like sewing needle, but it does kind of like hurt you a little bit. You kind of poke and you're just like, oh, that is not as dull as it looks. Okay. But today we are going to be making this cute little turtle. Now, I made this for my husband a few months back, and I actually wasn't even making it for him. I was making it for a craft fair, and he loved it, and he took it. And I didn't even know he took it till I was way after. And I had already gone to the craft fair, and someone had asked me, oh, you have a turtle? And I was like, yeah, I do. And then I was like, no, I really don't. But I ended up making them a turtle and sending them to him anyway. But my sister-in-law, she made these little bands connecting for my husband. He loves little Ninja Turtles. So he was like, oh, cool, looks like a Ninja Turtle now. The other thing you're gonna need is stuffing. The stuffing I got in a huge bag. I want to say it was like, I don't even know. I want to say it was like 10 pounds of it for like $4, $2 to $5 at Joann's Fabric. All right, guys, so let's get started. Now, the yarn I'm using is the Lily Sugar and Cream yarn. I take all my packaging off of them. It's just a habit because I ball them all up in a different type of way. So I will also add that at the bottom in the video. So we're gonna make a magic circle. So I always grab it here and I go around my fingers and I connect it in the back. So you can come pull that through. This yarn's kind of funny because sometimes this yarn, like, it separates a little bit, as you can see. Basically pull it all the way out and then you can kind of bring it all the way back. It'll kind of adjust itself. So what we're gonna do now that we have our magic circle made, is we're gonna do single crochet inside the magic circle. We're gonna single crochet 6. It's 5. And 6. So what you're going to do now is you're going to pull all this tight. And this first little one, you're going to, sometimes I get them too tight and I can't get the needle back in there. There we go. What I'm just going to do is slip stitch, which, just to end the round. Basically, now what we're going to do is I'm going to chain 1. And then what we're going to do is we are going to single crochet 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. So there's 1 and 2. That is 1, another. Alright, once you get to the end, you're going to slip stitch and chain 1. Alright, and that is the end of the first round. Now what you're going to do, because we're increasing, just like the center of the head, so you can always just place it right there. It's kind of funny. So basically, we are only going to increase a few more rounds. You can always, because we did 6 single crochets into that magic circle, with how small the turtle is it's only going to be an increase of 3 different rows. Basically, depending on how big you want it, you can increase more. So I always start with a 6 single crochet into the head or into the magic circle, and then I increase this way depending on how many I put in or how big I want it. So we don't want this one too big because the safety eyes are not super big, so it'll look really funky if the head's humongous and the eyes are these little itty bitty things. Probably be, I could make a new little character, who knows. So you're gonna do 2 single crochets into the first, like that. Now what you're gonna do is you are gonna do 1 single crochet into the next one, and then a double. So 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet, and then you're gonna do a single. So all the way around you're gonna go, now this next one you're gonna go a double, so you're gonna 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, all the way around until the end of the round. And what you're gonna do is you are going to slip stitch and chain 1. And I'm gonna finish this round and I will meet you guys back here. Alright guys, now that we have finished that round, we have single crochet or slip stitch and chained 1. Now we're going to go on to the next round. So what you're going to do now is you are going to 2 single crochets into this first stitch, and then what you're going to do is you are going to single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then you're gonna 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So you do that all the way around. So remember, you're gonna go 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, all the way around until you hit the last stitch, and then you're gonna slip stitch and chain 1. And I will meet you guys back here after this round. Alright guys, now that we are done with that round, we have slip stitch and we have single crochet, 1 chain. Now what you're gonna do is we're gonna increase, I think this is the last round, I gotta count. Yeah, so this is our last increasing round, so you're going to double or single crochet 2 single crochets in that first stitch. Then what you're going to do is you're going to single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. That one got all jacked up, so let's take that one. And believe me, there's many times you will have to redo that. I do it all the time. I've been crocheting since I was 6. So that says a lot. So what you're gonna do is you're going to 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then here's the second, and now the third. Because those stitches got all jacked up, I'm gonna do another set before we go and do another round. So now what you're going to do in this one is you're going to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So there's the double, so 1, 2, 3, we're gonna add one more to that. Alright guys, I'm gonna finish the round all the way around, slip stitch and chain 1, and then we'll get started on the next round, and I will see you guys in a minute. Alright guys, now that we have finished our last increasing, what you're going to do is you're going to single crochet, one single crochet in each stitch all the way around, and then you're going to slip stitch and chain 1, and I'll meet you back here, okay? Alright guys, now that we're back here, what you're going to do is, now that you see that it's starting to curve under, we are on the right track. So what you're going to do now for the next round is we're going to do a single crochet in one, or in each stitch all the way around for the next, I want to say for the next, for the next 7 rounds, and I'll meet you back here. Alright guys, now that we're back at the end of that row, what you're going to do now is you're going to mark your stitch with your stitch marker, because what we're gonna do is you're gonna do 7 rounds. It just look ugly, so give me 2 seconds, guys. Okay, so first what you're gonna do is we're gonna single crochet into the first stitch, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna mark the stitch here. Now what you're gonna do, so now you have your marker, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna single crochet 7 rounds, and instead of stopping and slip stitching and then chaining 1, you're going to count your stitch marker, and you're going to go 7 different rounds continuously and count your stitch marker. I will get that going, and I will see you guys back here in a few minutes. Alright guys, one thing I forgot to mention is, if you're using these kind of stitch markers, when you get to the end and you're about ready to go into the same stitch, you gotta remove your stitch marker and then go in 1 extra stitch and then put your stitch marker back. So that's one thing you gotta remember too. So just be aware, like if you had just yarn right here instead, you could either just push in, do your slip or do your single crochet, and then go about what you were doing. So that is just a reminder for that. And I'm going to continue my stitches, get out to those 7 rows, and get back to you guys, okay? Alright guys, now that we're done with that, I've already taken my stitch marker out. So now we're going to do decreasing. And at this point, how I was taught is I don't put in my my safety eyes quite yet. I kind of decrease a few rows and I put them in, because then you can see how big and everything else is going to be. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a decreasing. So basically what's going to happen now is you're going to slip stitch and chain 1. And then it's a decreasing round. So basically what we're gonna do, because we did 3 increasing rounds, so if I do 3 increasing rounds, I start with the number, so because I did 3, I'll do 5. So I'd always do 2 numbers above what I did on an increasing. So basically you're gonna, kind of like a slip stitch, but you're not going to chain over 1. Now you're gonna stick it into this, in another one, over, and then pull through all of them. So that's a decrease. But what you're going to do now is you're going to single crochet 5. same thing. So on that last, right after number 5, you're going to do another decrease. Alright, now that you've seen a few times of the decrease, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish the row, which should only be a few more anyhow, and then I will get back to you guys. Alright? Alright guys, now that we're back here, I've already slip stitched and chained 1, but now what you're going to do is we're going to do another decreasing row, and we're going to decrease by 4. So like the last time, we're going to go and decrease into these first 2 stitches and pull all the way through, and then single crochet for 4. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now what you're going to do is your decrease. Alright guys, I'm going to finish the row and I'm going to meet you back here and we'll go on to the next. Alright, so the cool thing about this row is we're putting in safety eyes. So I know that the back of my head's here, and I kind of just flattened everything out to kind of see, because if you do that, you can kind of push that in and see where like the face is going to sit. So we're going to stick the eye here. So like for me, I think that's a little too close. So let's do one more over. Alright, now what you're going to do is you're going to put the backs on the eyes. So, and for me, these kind of hurt my fingers putting them on. So I kind of like push them on, so basically you can see in. You push that out. I get my fingers, and you'll feel it kind of click on to the next little, because they're kind of like screws. Alright, we got one back on. With these smaller projects, it's a little more difficult. When you get into bigger projects, it's a little easier to put these safety eyes on, because you can kind of work with the material a little bit more. Alright, now that our eyes are on, now with my little turtles, I don't really put actual faces on them. I just kind of like give them eyes. If I feel like I want them to have little rosy cheeks, I just pull some like little eyeshadow out of my own and I just kind of put it around. And I usually do that after I stuff it and everything like that. So Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do another decreasing. Now I've already slip stitched and chained one. So now what you're gonna do is you're going to decrease here. And you're going to single crochet 3, and then decrease again. Two. And then a decrease. And then a decrease now. And I'm gonna finish the round and get my stuffing out. And then we will, when I'm done with that round, I will come back and show you what we're doing with the stuffing. Alright guys, now what we're doing with the stuffing, and of course at the end of this I did single crochet, or slip stitch and then chained one. So I pulled this string out because you're going to want it to be longer, because when you're stuffing it you can pull this down and it kind of helps you open the little hole a little more. So what you're doing now is we are stuffing. And don't stuff it too full because you do still have a few more rounds to decrease before you're completely done. So, and sometimes the stuffing gets everywhere, so good luck. First couple times I ever stuffed something, I literally got it all over my clothes. I even found them in like my undergarments, like later that night when I took them off to take a shower. I found them like in my bra and stuff like that, which I thought was hilarious. So you don't want to fully stuff it quite yet, but you do want to stuff enough down towards the bottom of it. Well, technically the top, but the bottom of it to make it kind of stick. And I'm sitting on my couch next to our father clock, or our grandfather clock, so it keeps dinging and it's super annoying. Alright, so that's enough stuffing for me for right now. I'm going to go and we're going to decrease. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get our thing back here. Now what you're going to do is, because I've already slip stitched and chained one, what we're doing here is we are decreasing for the first stitch. And we're single crocheting the next two. And then another decrease. Alright guys, I'm going to finish this round, and when I get back, we will go on to the next one. Alright, now that we're back here, we're going to stuff a little more in here. Of course, I'm doing it with the opposite hand of my dominant, so I'm a little awkward right now. So it's going to take me a little longer to stuff it a little fuller. And don't forget to pull this out, to pull down here, so I can rearrange my fingers. I'm stuffing mine a little fuller than I would really recommend, but I've also been doing this a few years, so it's a little different. But do it to your comfortability, because you gotta remember when you're crocheting, and when you're crocheting with stuffing especially, it's going to get everywhere. So if it starts to fall out or it gets annoying, just kind of go back and take some out, because you're gonna get it everywhere. So now I've already slip stitched and I've already chained one. So now I'm going to decrease and then one single crochet, kind of like that. Like, you see how that kind of came out like that? Okay. And we're decreasing again. And then a single crochet. So I am going to finish this round. When we get back here, we will finish a little more of the head. Alright, so as it gets tighter, it gets a little more difficult to be stuffing. So, and I'm combobbled because it's the time of day. So we're going to stuff a little more in here. And remember, stuffing's very light, so it looks real dense, but it's not. It is lightweight, and a lot goes a little way, ironically. Or, what looks like a lot goes a long way. So now what we're doing is we are going to decrease another row. So this one, you're decreasing every stitch. Alright, I'm going to finish this round and I will meet you guys back here to show you what else to do. Alright, now that we're back here at the end, now I have not slip stitched. So let's do that real quick. Chain one, like always. Pulling that out. And we're going to stuff a little bit more, not a whole lot, only because we really don't need to. So we're just going to do a small little amount. And then what you're going to do is we are going to close up the hole. So what we do then is we come here and we pretty much just keep decreasing to close up the hole. Which really should only be maybe 2 decreases. So now what you're going to do, now that you have rolling, this is, you're going to take your scissors, and you're going to, I'd always leave it pretty long, because when you're sewing everything together, you don't know how much yarn you're going to need. So, now that that's done, I always smash it, kind of play around with it a little bit, kind of even it all out. And there's your head, and you've done your turtle head. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow to do the rest of the body of some sort.